When cafe racer style e-bikes first came out, like this one from Jupiter called the Rogue, people went crazy. Everyone wanted one. And because of that, prices just skyrocketed. Companies like Super 73 were charging buco bucks. Most of their bikes were like $3,000 to $4,000. Which is funny when you compare a normal looking bike like this one from Lectric that has similar stats, but yet costs half as much. For example, this one from Super 73 costs over $3,000, has a 500 watt motor, a 48 volt 15 amp hour battery, and Tektro hydraulic brakes. This bike from Lectric costs half as much, has a larger motor, which is 750 watts, the same size battery, and then nut hydraulic brakes. So what you're paying for is not so much with performance, but it's with design, and you know, I get it because they're pretty sexy looking bikes. So if you're looking for a cafe racer style bike and you don't want to pay a ton of money, this one's not the cheapest at $1,900, but it does beat $3,000 to $4,000. I'm gonna walk you through this bike from top to bottom, and I'll also let you know if it's a good price for what you get, because that's the key question there. I'm also gonna show you how to unlock the bike from 20 miles per hour up to over 30. And I'm gonna show you something that I've never seen an e-bike company do, and I'm not sure if it's by design or just something wrong with the bike. When I let it go, it not only stays on, all that's coming up, but first let me just show you what this thing can do. Okay, so that's a 750 watt motor. And when you turn the bike on, if the bike sits for a couple seconds, it's gonna go into park mode, P for park. To take it out of park mode, just hit the brake lever. Got a thumb throttle on the right side with an up and down arrow that's gonna change the pedal assist levels, and there are 5 of those. Level 0, no power. And I think it's funny how this thumb throttle is something that you would see on a scooter rather than a bike, but you know, no judgment, Jupiter, no judgment. Maybe just a little bit. Put one of those half twist throttles on this bad boy, come on. Now out of the box, this is gonna hit 20 miles per hour, but there is a thing you can do to unlock the full power of that motor. And what you gotta do is turn the power off. While the power's off, squeeze the brake lever, turn the power back on, and then hit the throttle 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release the brake lever. You heard that beep. Now you got full power. The speed is gonna depend on the type of terrain and the conditions that are around as you ride. Heading up this way, it's a slight uphill. There's a pretty strong headwind. Into the wind, that's 25 miles an hour. Going with the wind, that's 31 miles an hour. I would say that's a wind going that way. All right, now let's talk about acceleration, because that's why you get a moped style bike. These are infamous for their just torquiness right off the line. And for this one, with how big and heavy it is, it actually gets up and goes pretty good. There's no tire spin, but when you hit that throttle, it goes. Yeah, that's pretty bad. There's 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. From 0 to 20, it's hard to count that fast. It just goes. Now, if you wanted to, go down the trail without using the throttle, you do have power in the pedals. But with this being a moped style bike with the fixed saddle, pedaling is not the most comfortable. So when it's all the way up, my knee is this direction, which I personally don't like. But if you did, you could ride it and you'd still top out just as fast as I was topping out when I was going straight throttle. And that's all I have to say about that. No, it's not. There's one more thing. This has a 7-speed Shimano shifter. Pretty basic shifter, especially for a $1,900 e-bike. That should be a little bit nicer. But when you got it set to the first gear, let's just see how long it takes that power to kick on. And it is just over 1 revolution. Whew. And then when it hits, it goes. Okay, so what about power for hills? So I went to the hill that I usually go to. It's a 50% grade. I started at the very bottom, just at full throttle. By the time I reached the top, I was going 11 miles per hour. So if you got some hills in your area, this is gonna climb them. It's time to talk about range. And what you have here is a 48 volt, 13.2 amp hour battery. You can't take that off. And then there's an on off button on the side, charge port here, which takes about 4 to 5 hours for a full charge. And then on top, you can check the battery life. They say that has a range rating of 30 to 50 miles. I took it for a range test, well, a short range test. I went around 12 miles and I only lost 3 battery bars, which is about a third of the battery, which is pretty good because I was doing full throttle. I had some decent elevation gain. So I was pretty happy with what I got. And that's pretty much all I have to say for the range. So let me get back on the bike and head down the trail. I'll see you down there. Bye. Let's talk about brakes now. These are mineral oil brakes. Right side controls the rear, left side the front. When you hit the brakes, the tail light flares up. And then going around 20 miles per hour, you can stop pretty quick. Brakes are my least favorite thing on a bike because nothing too exciting about them. They work, they're smooth, you can stop pretty fast, and that's it. Now it's time to talk about the ride of the fill. And already I'm cringing a little bit because that motor is your classic Bafang motor. You can hear it pumping away. Now, if you don't care about motor noise, then you won't mind that. But for me, I tend to like a quiet bike. and it's not the quietest unless you're going 15 miles per hour like I am right now. This is a perfect situation here because I want to talk about the suspension. I got a dirt road right there. We're gonna test it out. In the front, you got a front fork suspension. You can't lock that out, that is fixed. Couldn't find how much travel that has online, but it has this much travel. Don't you love my stern reviewness? And then in the rear, you got spring suspension. So it's a full suspension bike. I would expect that for 1,900 bucks. I'm gonna head down the road and see how good it is. Already, it's a little stiff. Oh, that's very, that's pretty stiff. I got a bump right here. My phone came off my tripod when I hit that bump right there. Caught a little bit of air. But yeah, this terrain, no good for that bike. At least not going 20 miles per hour. Tested out a lot of bikes that have suspension like this, and just the key is to go slow and be choosy on the type of trails that you take it on. I would not take any moped style bike off-road. These are for the street. They're for ripping around corners and going fast. But you know what? I gotta test it out. I gotta see how the suspension is in case there's one of you out there that has that question. And hopefully it's been answered. There's just a few more things I wanna tell you about the bike. So first off, they say can fit a rider 5'4" up to 6'2". I'm 5'11", and this is how I look on it. And I look good. Like I said earlier, pedaling this thing is really not an option for me or for anybody really, unless you like pain and suffering. These are the types of bikes that I would just go straight throttle. But anyways, it can hold 300 pounds. It's got a huge saddle with a divot in the middle. So this is the first rider and here's the second rider. And I say that because you got foot pegs down here that just flip out. And there you go. There's your second rider. Got it, stay bike. It is a little bit heavy for an e-bike at 82 pounds. That's, whew. And it has a horn. Kind of scared me, I'm not gonna lie. Headlight button is above the horn, and it's a huge headlight. That is one of the biggest headlights I've seen for an e-bike. Display is kind of basic, not the biggest fan of it, and when the sun is shining on it, it's a little bit tricky to see. There's wing-tipped grips, pretty basic grips. Handlebars are pretty cool. It's like they're floating in the front. I like that design. And you got a nice open posture on it. And then you got this cool basket. It's big enough to fit a bike helmet and a speaker and some other stuff that I threw in there.
There you go, buddy. Hold on tight.
Okay, now it's time to show you that funky thing that I don't know if I love or if I hate. And it's got to do with the throttle. When I let it go, it not only stays on, but it accelerates. So that's 24, 25, 26. Like it'll go full throttle. 27, my thumb's been off of it for the last 5-10 seconds. 28. To kill it, you just tap the throttle just like a cruise. It's like a cruise accelerator. Once that cruise feature kicks on, it doesn't hold it at that level. It continues to go. And I don't know if I like that feature or not. Never seen a bike that has that. Okay, so now it's time to answer the question, is this a good bike for the value? As far as speed, you got a 31 mile per hour top speed. That's gonna beat a lot of those Super 73 bikes. Most of those are topping out about 20 miles per hour. So for speed, absolutely. The acceleration is not the fastest I've seen for a moped style bike, but I still think it's worth the price. It takes off pretty good, pretty zippy. I like the range, potential of 50 miles if you ride it easy. You got hydraulic brakes, that's a plus. It can climb some steep hills, that's another plus. The suspension's a little bit rough. I'd also like to see better gear in the cockpits. You got standard grips, standard throttle, standard shifter, the horn and the light switch, that's very standard. Fenders are standard, foot pegs are standard. So it just depends on what you like. If you want just a performing bike, it's definitely worth the money. If you want something that you can show off to your friends and have them ooh and ah over the specific details of everything, maybe not the best bike for that. Anyways, if you want to check it out, I got the link in the bio. And that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you out on the trail. Another day, another time, another place. Goodbye.